To remove and install the front axle on your Ranger XP Kinetic, follow these steps. Park the vehicle on a flat level surface. Ensure it is in park, and remove the key. Next, remove the center cap from the wheel. Then, remove and discard the cotter pin. Continue by loosening the axle nut, but do not remove. Next, loosen the lug nuts while the vehicle is on the ground, but do not remove at this time. Then, safely elevate the vehicle. Reference your owner's manual for proper lifting techniques. Once safely elevated, remove the lug nuts and set aside. Then, remove the wheel and set aside. Next, remove and discard the upper and lower caliper mounting fasteners. Then, carefully remove the caliper from the hub and support it with a wire hanger, rope, or retention strap to avoid damaging the brake line. Next, remove the castle nut and cone washer and set aside. Then, pull the wheel hub off the assembly and set aside. Next, remove and discard the tie rod nut. Then, lift upward on the tie rod while tapping on the bearing carrier to separate the tie rod end from the bearing carrier. Next, remove the upper ball joint fastener and discard the nut. Then, lightly tap on the bearing carrier to separate the upper ball joint end from the bearing carrier. Next, pivot the assembly down to separate the axle from the bearing carrier. Then, with a quick, sharp jerk, remove the axle from the front gear case. Next, clean the anti-seize off the axle splines using a clean shop rag. Then, inspect the threads and splines on the axle for nicks or burrs and replace if needed. Continue by inspecting the CV boots to ensure there are no cuts, wear, or damage, and replace if needed. If reusing the axle, remove and discard the compression ring. Then, install a new compression ring into the groove on the end of the axle, and ensure it is fully seated. Continue by applying new anti-seize to the inboard splines on the axle. Before installing, inspect the anti-seize on the gear case and hub assembly for dirt or debris. Clean and apply new anti-seize if necessary. Next, align the splines on the axle with the gear case, and push in firmly on the shaft until the compression ring is fully engaged in the gear case. Then, lightly pull on the axle to ensure the compression ring is fully engaged. Continue by inserting the axle through the bearing carrier, and push the carrier in to seat the axle. Next, lift the assembly and install the upper ball joint end into the bearing carrier. Then, reinstall the ball joint fastener from the rear of the vehicle and secure with a new nut. Continue by inserting the tie rod end into the bearing carrier and secure with a new nut. Next, torque the ball joint fastener to specification. Then, torque the tie rod nut to specification. Next, insert the axle through the wheel hub and push the hub in until fully seated. Then, reinstall the washer with the domed side out and reinstall the castle nut. Next, carefully slide the caliper assembly onto the brake disc, ensuring the brake rotor is between the two pads. Before continuing, ensure any items used to secure the brake caliper are removed from the wheel well. Then, install new upper and lower caliper mounting fasteners and torque to specification. Next, reinstall the wheel on the vehicle and tighten the lug nuts until fully seated. Then, safely lower the vehicle until the tires begin to touch the ground. This will help keep the wheel in place when torquing. Once lowered, torque the lug nuts to specification in a crisscross pattern. Then, torque the castle nut to specification. Continue by inserting a new cotter pin and bend around the castle nut to secure. If necessary, tighten the castle nut to align the cotter pin holes. Then, push the dust cap onto the wheel and ensure it is fully seated. Finally, lower the vehicle completely. For more information, see your authorized Polaris dealer or visit Polaris.com.